I'm not going to ignore, the racial aspect got thrown into the media. Players addressed what fans were saying. So it was given life to a certain extent. But I think we've seen it stamped out this offseason.
Remember when people said no one wanted to play in Indiana? Well, DeWanna Boner just proved them wrong. The 4-time All-Star shut down that toxic environment myth completely, not what Sheryl Swoopes expected. Boner didn't just join the Fever. She chose them, specifically to play with Caitlin Clark and this talented young team. A championship veteran with the most playoff experience in WNBA history picked Indiana as her destination. Still think no one wants to play there?
One of those narratives was people wouldn't want to go to the Fever because of the Fever fan base. And the Fever fan base being painted with this broad brushstroke was always just stupid, really. There's no other word.
Did you hear what Sheryl Swoopes said about the Indiana Fever? It wasn't just a simple critique. It was a full-on attack. She went on national platforms, claiming Indiana's locker room was so toxic that veterans were avoiding the franchise. She made it sound like the team was so dysfunctional that no experienced player would ever choose to join them. And to make things worse, her timing couldn't have been worse.
Besides Aaliyah Boston, besides Lexi Hull, because I think Kelsey Mitchell's an okay defender. Lexi Hull, is a dog on the defensive end.
Yeah.
But besides those two, I worry about the defense.
Swoopes fired these shots just as the Fever were actually turning things around. The team had been improving in the second half of the season, building chemistry and finding their rhythm. But instead of recognizing their progress, she stuck to her narrative that Indiana was basketball purgatory.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to.
What's crazy is how fast this narrative took off. Social media blew up with hot takes repeating Swoopes' claims. Suddenly, everyone acted like an expert on Indiana's so-called toxic environment, even without any inside info. Posts and videos spread everywhere, fueling the idea that poor Caitlin Clark was stuck in basketball hell with no way out. Instead of focusing on the Fever's real progress, the conversation turned into a manufactured drama about how miserable everyone must be.
I also know players on that team that are like, oh, hell no, we don't want to just be here.
Yeah.
Because then when you...
I was about to say that.
Because then when you factor in free agency, you got players on this Indiana Fever team...
They getting paid anyway?
...that are like, no, but players who will be free agents next...
Think about the timing. Just as the Fever were gaining real momentum and fans were getting excited about the team's future, Swoopes dropped this bomb that overshadowed all the progress. While Indiana was building its fan base and improving on the court, the narrative being pushed had nothing to do with reality.
So what happens when Aaliyah ain't playing well again?
It's back to
it. You know what I mean? And so as a player...
back to it. But
as a player, do you want to... continue to stay in a situation where you keep yourself vulnerable to all of the hate that you know is going to come to you if you're not playing the way everybody thinks you should be?
The whole situation was calling for someone to step up and challenge this baseless claim. It was the perfect moment for a reality check, for someone with real credibility to speak the truth instead of feeding into speculation. And that's when something unexpected happened.
I hope we spend so much less time discussing nonsense and, fan bases and all the things that came along with it and the made up garbage that was online and was sold as if it was a big part of the actual sport or the players.
DeWanna Boner, a respected veteran with a championship pedigree, broke her 6-month Twitter silence just to shut down the toxic environment myth. This wasn't just a casual return to social media. It was a bold statement, directly countering all the negativity surrounding the Fever. She made it clear that she was committed to helping this team succeed, completely contradicting everything Swoopes had been saying.
Pushing with these players is like, you got to know what you're getting into going to Indiana, and everyone did. with Natasha Howard, it was very clear that like that potential for stardom, which she never had in her career, no matter how good she's been, outweighed like any potential like downsides of playing for the Fever. And then for DeWanna Boner, she had all those connections to Indiana. She connected.
Boner's social media post wasn't just a random comment. It was the start of something much bigger. What veteran with multiple championship rings willingly joins a team many saw as a work in progress? That's what makes this story so compelling. DeWanna Boner wasn't just taking the only offer available. She intentionally chose Indiana after recognizing their potential, while everyone else overlooked them.
They have dynamic pieces in CC and Kelsey Mitchell and AB, Lexi Hall. I mean, they have a great core, so why not just add to that and try to, take us to the next level in the playoffs. They were in first round, and I played against them in the first round, and the way they came back the second game, it just makes you excited to, okay, I want to be a part of that. They didn't lay down and quit. They came back and actually tried to beat us early, that next game. So it just shows a lot about their character and how hungry they are. And
Think about this for a second. Boner had playoff caliber teams practically begging for her. Teams ready to compete for a championship right away were rolling out the red carpet. Yet she chose the Fever.
Why?
Because she saw something in their game film that the so-called experts completely overlooked.
Easy, I don't have to learn a whole new system in year 15, so that's huge. And I feel like they just put me in great positions on the court that makes me successful and took my game to a different level. And now you're playing with these dynamic players, and hopefully I can take my game to an even better level. So all of that was a factor, and Amber, I've been knowing for a long time, and she explained the vision here and where the Fever want to go, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm in. I'll be a part of that.
In her own words, Boner saw that Indiana had a dynamic core, and she wanted to be the piece that helped take them to the next level. This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment decision. It was strategic. She carefully studied Indiana's late-season surge and recognized a hunger in this young squad that matched her championship mindset.
I'm hoping I can provide a little bit of leadership, but I feel like they're a team that last year helped them a lot and understand the dynamics of playoffs. It's a whole different ball game when playoffs come, and I feel like they're a young team, but they're a good team, and hopefully I can just provide the knowledge and explain playoffs to them a little bit better so we can be better prepared and don't get punched in the face the first.
Did you catch what she said about the team? Asterisk, I think we're a hungry group, so I'm just excited to get out there with everybody. Asterisk, that's a 4-time All-Star fired up about joining a team many saw as a rebuilding project. She watched this squad grow in real time and made her decision based on where they're headed, not their past struggles. She sees what others missed.
I think that it's going to be steps throughout the regular season that get us prepared for that, because every game, every single night is going to be hard. These teams have changed a lot in this league, and every team has loaded up and gotten better. So I think that the regular season is going to definitely prepare us for that.
But Boner's decision wasn't just about basketball. It was about finding the perfect balance between her personal and professional life. My kids are literally right up the road, and I've spent a lot of time away from them, she explained. After years of sacrifice, she finally found a situation where her family and career could align perfectly.
The location, for one, my kids are literally right up the road, and I've spent a lot of time away from them. So that and the core that they have here now is just kind of want to fit in, be another piece of the puzzle, and hopefully bring the energy dynamic and take us to a different level in the play.
What really stands out is how Boner's veteran perspective cut through all the noise. Asterisk, I think they got it, and they're a young team, but they're a good team, and hopefully I can just provide the knowledge. Asterisk, she didn't see Indiana as a charity case. She saw them as a rising force that just needed the right veteran presence to take the next step. The playoffs aren't just a dream for this team anymore. They're a real possibility.
Crazy run, and they were the most well-gelled team at that time. They went from the bottom straight, and they just kept trending, and it was like one of those teams you're like, man, you don't want to really see them in the playoffs. So we got the matchup, and I think our experience helped us very well. But that second game, they came out, and it was like, yeah, they just kind of went on this trajectory that was just like on the rise, and it was literally Fever on the rise during right after All-Star. So that's exciting. That's exciting for me to see, and that kind of helped me with my decision.
When was the last time you saw a multi-time champion specifically choose a rookie to mentor? That missing veteran piece Indiana needed isn't just bringing her skills. She's bringing an entire playoff record book with her. With more postseason minutes than anyone in WNBA history, Boner is about to give Caitlin Clark a masterclass in championship mentality that no rookie has ever experienced.